let's be real. If you're an engineer, you know the tech hiring market is, well, it's kind of broken. We're all just trying to navigate the chaos. So today, we're going to take a look at a new platform called TEDNE. They're trying to bring some serious transparency to the whole process, and we're going to see exactly how they plan to pull it off. I mean, this quote just nails it, right? It's from the team behind TEDNE, and it really hits home. It feels exactly like that sometimes. You find a role, it looks perfect, but then the application process is this mythical quest with no map, and you're pretty sure you're just going to get ghosted at the end anyway. And these aren't just made-up examples, are they? This is the stuff we see every single day. You've got junior roles that want 8 years of experience. My favorite is 15-plus years of Kubernetes when the tech is barely a decade old. Or those endless 6-stage interview loops that just burn you out, only to end in total silence. It's so frustrating, and a problem this big needs a real systemic solution. So here's the game plan. We're going to break down how TEDNE is trying to tackle this whole mess. First, we'll look at the problem itself. Then, we'll dive into their solution. And after that, we'll get into the parts that are absolutely critical for us as engineers. How they protect your anonymity, their really interesting take on AI, and what they're promising for the future. Okay, first up, let's ground all this frustration in some actual data. Because it turns out that feeling like you're applying into a black hole, well, it's not just in your head. 40%. Think about that. Recent industry data shows that around 40% of companies admit to posting ghost jobs. These are roles they have absolutely no intention of filling. They just want to look like they're growing or maybe just scrape a bunch of resumes. This is a massive part of the noise that makes finding a job so exhausting. So how in the world do you cut through all that noise? Well, TEDNE's entire approach is to build an observatory, a place where we can actually see what's really going on. And this right here, this is the core idea. For us engineers, the word observability means something very specific, right? You don't just guess what's wrong with a complex system. You instrument it, you collect data, you make its internal state visible and understandable. TEDNE is applying that exact same engineering principle to the completely broken system of hiring. You know, here's probably the easiest way to get it. Think Rotten Tomatoes, but for tech jobs. You submit the evidence, the job listing, the crazy requirements, the red flags, and then the community rates it, good or bad, just like with movies. It creates the super clear, crowdsourced signal about a company's hiring process. Simple, but powerful. The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. It all starts with receipts. You submit a real job listing you found out in the wild. Next, the community weighs in with votes and reactions, which creates that score we talked about. And finally, an AI they've built called JobGoblin analyzes the listing for all the nonsense, giving you both structured data and, honestly, some much-needed funny commentary. Okay, so submitting receipts about bad job posts sounds great, but it immediately brings up the single most important question. Is this safe? Could this ever come back to bite me? And this is where TEDNE's engineering-first approach is so critical. Anonymity isn't just a policy here. They've literally built it into the core architecture. Let's just tackle that question head-on. Because honestly, if you can't trust the platform to protect you, then nothing else really matters, does it? See, your data isn't just getting thrown into one giant database. As you can see in this diagram, every single submission moves through separate, completely isolated trust zones. The raw data you submit, the unsanitized stuff, is immediately locked away in this high-security area that is totally walled off from the part of the app the public sees. The secret sauce here is something they call the PII vault. Putting it in a separate, sealed cloud project is a really big deal. It means even if the main application was somehow compromised, your original submission is still safe. Everything is encrypted with customer-managed keys, an automated system scans and strips any personal info from screenshots, and get this, no human can even access the raw data without triggering an emergency break glass protocol. This is real security by design. All right, next up, let's talk about AI, because we are all, and rightly so, pretty skeptical about how AI is being used in hiring to just filter out resumes and replace actual human beings. TEDNE's philosophy is completely different. They want to use AI to fight that dehumanization, not make it worse. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the typical AI and hiring that we all dread, black box systems that reject you with zero explanation. But on the right, you have TEDNE's approach. Their AI is not making decisions about you. It's extracting data from job ads, it's detecting those impossible asks, and it's analyzing patterns to spot things like ghost jobs. It's a tool for transparency, not a tool for judgment.
And to make this absolutely crystal clear, they've set some hard and fast rules. Their AI will never be used to make a hiring decision, to reject a candidate, or to rank you against other people. This is their commitment to keeping the focus where it belongs, on the companies, not on the candidates.
So the platform is built on community submissions, which is fantastic. But of course, the big question is, what's the long-term plan? How does this all evolve, and what happens when companies and, money get involved? I mean, this is the elephant in the room, right? The second a platform like this starts taking money from companies, we all get scared that the community's voice is going to get pushed aside. So let's just put that question right out there and address it. See, it's all part of a phased plan. Phase 1 is what's happening now, building that huge database of evidence, the wall of no. Phase 2 is all about tracking patterns over time, like how often the same job gets reposted. And only then, in Phase 3, do tools for companies even enter the picture. This isn't a sudden pivot, it's the logical next step to actually close the feedback loop. And this brings us to the promise. And the rules are completely explicit. A company can never pay to hide or delete a bad score, period. The tools they plan to offer are for improvement, to help them write better job descriptions and fix their broken processes. And crucially, their progress or their lack of progress is tracked publicly for all of us to see. The goal is real accountability, not just selling them reputation protection. This quote from their own internal governance policy it sums up the entire spirit of the platform, doesn't it? It's all about using technology to bring clarity and assist our own judgment, not to just automate us out of the picture. And that really is the ultimate vision here. What if we could finally build a hiring market that's based on actual, verifiable evidence, on receipts, instead of just what companies say in their marketing copy? It's a huge goal, for sure, but it's one that finally puts the power of observation back in our hands.